Hi everyone, my name is Katie, and I'm 17 years old. Tell me, what were you like at school? Were you a nerd or one of the cool kids? In any case, I'm sure you all wanted to be cool. You know, the star of the party, right? Well, today I can tell you how to achieve that. Subscribe to the channel and make the video full screen so you don't miss anything. My father was an important businessman, and I, of course, went to one of the best schools out there. You know, the kind of school where you have to wear a uniform and listen to very smart teachers. Children of the biggest politicians, businessmen, and artists studied alongside of me. One hell of a company, I'll tell you that. But one day, it all suddenly came to an end. My father had some serious problems with his business, and he couldn't pay for my schooling anymore. Moreover, he had to move to a small town in a northern state. And of course, he took me with him. I didn't want to leave my friends and my life behind, but there was nothing I could do. After moving, I had to go to a different school. And, you know, it was really different from my old one. It was small and completely ordinary, and the children there were from ordinary families. From the very first day, everyone treated me really harshly. I wasn't surprised. Outsiders weren't welcome, especially since I was really different from my new classmates. I dressed better than them, behaved like someone from a truly elite educational institution, and I was more talented than any of them. Why? It was because there were no strict requirements in this school, unlike in my previous one. That's why I knew and was able to do so much more than the other kids. When they asked if they could copy my homework, I just didn't pay any attention. Of course, not everyone disliked me. One day, a girl sat down next to me and said, "Hi, I'm Irene. Are you new here? Don't worry, I'll look after you." We laughed and started chatting. I found at least one friend in my new school. I also kept texting my friend Anne from the elite school. She wrote that everyone there missed me. And in return, I told her about my new life in this new place. For example, about Andrew, the most handsome boy in the school, coming up to me one day. He had said,
"Hey Katie, do you want to go on a date with the coolest dude in school?"
I replied, "Of course I do. Let me know when you see him." And I walked away proudly. I could hear all of Andrew's friends laughing at him as I left. The school also had a Facebook group where all the pupils shared news and jokes. Irene said that there was an anonymous user in the group who wrote nasty things about everyone and spread rumors. The whole school hated them, but nobody had managed to figure out who it was yet. Oh, and I loved rumors and scandals. But one day, they wrote a rumor about me. The mysterious anonymous user described an unpleasant incident that had happened to me at the elite school. But how could they know about that? I had never told anyone about it. Was there someone at my new school who knew about my past? Of course, I didn't have any secrets that were too shameful, but it was still extremely unpleasant that someone was writing nasty things about me. So I decided to go find them, but I couldn't do it alone. So I decided to make friends with the coolest kids in school. There was a whole group of them. Andrew was their leader, of course. He said,
"What, little cat? Have you come to your senses? Okay, we'll accept you into our group, but you must go through initiation first."
It wasn't anything too difficult. I just had to pour a bucket of soapy water onto the classroom floor. I thought about it, and I agreed. When we were on a break, I did what they told me to do, and I went to join my new clique. Suddenly, the teacher came into the classroom. He hadn't noticed the puddle on the floor, so he slipped and fell right into the blackboard. I gasped and rushed to help him, but I slipped on the puddle too and fell right next to the teacher. I heard Andrew laugh, followed by the rest of the cool kids. They proudly walked out of the classroom, and I realized that they'd all just been messing with me. They hadn't even thought about accepting me into their group. I was hurt, and I felt humiliated. But then, I saw someone hold out their hand to me. It was Peter, the quietest guy in the school. He didn't talk to anyone, and was basically an outcast. But now he was offering me help. So, I accepted it. Peter helped me up and asked,
"Is everything all right?"
I felt so sad and lonely that I couldn't bear it, and I just told him all my problems. He listened attentively, and he said,
"It'll pass. If you want to, you can sit next to me in the canteen. It's more fun to eat together."
That really calmed me down. I smiled. Peter wasn't as stupid as Irene had told me he was. Yeah, he was a man of few words, but that didn't mean he was a complete outcast. Since the cool kids hadn't accepted me into their group, I decided to try my luck with the nerds next. They were the smartest kids in school, and they also had their own group. But as soon as they found out I wanted to join them, they immediately refused. It turned out that the mysterious anonymous user had written in the Facebook group about me making fun of nerds in my previous school. Where was that person getting all these stupid rumors? And who was that nasty anonymous user anyway? I shared my suspicions with Anne, and she said it could be one of my old acquaintances. But who could that be? Anyway, the nerds also refused to be my friends. I was sitting in the canteen and picking at my lunch with a fork, pretty upset, when Peter sat down next to me and said,
Hi, welcome to the Outcast Club.
Well, at least I got into some kind of club, even if there was only one other person in it. I smiled ruefully, and I thanked Peter for his support. Then, Andrew came up to us.
Well, loser, is this a new addition to your club?
He asked Peter and laughed. I realized that he'd only come over to make fun of Peter. I just couldn't bear it. I got up and I told him in front of everyone, "You're the loser, because you only feel better when you bully girls and those who are weaker than you." Andrew tried to protest, but I didn't let him get a word in. The entire school was watching us with open mouths. In the end, he realized he had nothing to say, and he left. I noticed that everyone was looking at me with a kind of respect. I did what many of them had long been dreaming of. And you know what? From that day on, everyone's attitude towards me at the school changed. They began to invite me to parties, and many people wanted to be friends with me. Irene, of course, wasn't pleased. She wanted me to only have one friend. Her. But I didn't want that. I needed a bigger company. And I also began to date Peter. When I finally got him to talk, I was really surprised to find that he was a very kind and interesting guy. Long story short, my life at school began to improve. But suddenly, another nasty thing was written about me on Facebook. And what a thing it was! They put my most shameful secrets on display. They'd embellished everything and made sure to drive home what a pathetic person I was. It was so offensive. Who could hate me that much? I decided I would end it once and for all. But who could I trust? It could have been anyone. That's when I came up with a plan. I sent out invitations to all of my friends from school while my dad was away, and I threw a party. I also told them that there was a surprise waiting for everyone at the party. I was going to expose the mysterious anonymous user who was spreading rumors about everyone at the school right then and there. All of my new friends were happy to come. Only one of them said that they were too busy and wouldn't attend. And that was Irene. That's when I understood everything. I asked her, "Irene, why'd you write those horrible things about me?" She got scared and said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I told her that I knew everything and that there wasn't any use in denying it. Irene began to cry and asked me not to tell anyone. She said that she had always loved to gossip and argue with people. She just couldn't help it. A couple days after I transferred to the new school, my friend Anne had contacted her and asked her to write nasty things about me. She had been the one to tell Irene all those stories about me. So that's how it was. Anne had been so envious of me that she decided to try and hurt me. What a friend. Why hadn't I guessed that right away? I promised Irene not to tell anyone if she apologized to everyone she'd hurt. And then there was the big party. We had fun and we danced, and I told everyone that the anonymous user who'd been writing nasty things would admit to everything very soon. And that's exactly what happened. The very next day, a confession posted by Irene appeared in the Facebook group. She had to transfer to another school because she couldn't go to school with the kid she'd been hurting for so long. And all the rumors finally stopped. I broke off all contact with Anne as well. I didn't want to hang out with someone who pretended to be my best friend only to stab me in the back. But it's okay, because I found new friends. I became a leader in my new school, and I stopped acting like a diva. Peter and I kept dating, and all in all, I was really happy with my life in this small town. I finally realized what quiet happiness truly meant. But one day, I got a call from my father. He sounded very anxious and said that he had great news. His business was doing great again, and we could now go back. I was gonna return to the elite school. It was so sudden. I told him that I didn't want to go back, but my father just laughed and asked,
"Why would you want to stay in this small provincial school?"
How can I explain to him that I found real, interesting friends here? I'm just so afraid he's not gonna understand. Please tell me in the comments, what would you do if you were in my place?